Captain Caleb Rourke gripped the controls tightly, sweat streaking down his brow as warning alarms screamed through his cockpit. Flames danced outside his viewport, painting wild patterns of orange and gold against the lush, vibrant greenery of Zephora Prime below. Caleb cursed under his breath, wrestling the ship's failing thrusters to keep it level. Just moments ago, the mission had seemed routine, a quick cargo delivery, easy credits. But now, spiraling toward the jungle planet, he knew his luck had taken a dangerous turn. With a bone-rattling jolt, Caleb's vessel slammed into the dense canopy. Branches snapped loudly against the hull, metal shrieking under the strain. His ship finally skidded to a halt near a clearing, its engines coughing out thick, acrid smoke. Caleb quickly unstrapped himself, adrenaline pumping through his veins, and grabbed a handheld scanner, noticing an urgent distress signal blinking insistently on the display. Stepping out of the smoldering wreckage, he inhaled sharply. The humid jungle air filled his lungs, heavy with the scent of blooming alien flowers and singed machinery. Following the signal, Caleb pushed through the thick vegetation until he stumbled upon an ornate alien craft, its sleek surface shimmering softly under the scattered rays of sunlight. It lay slightly tilted, its elegant lines damaged but still breathtakingly advanced. He approached cautiously, heart pounding in anticipation. The hatch hissed and opened slowly as he neared, revealing an interior bathed in dim, blue-hued lighting. Stepping inside, his eyes adjusted quickly. Drawn immediately to a figure slumped in the command chair, Caleb's breath caught sharply as he moved closer. Princess Lyra stirred weakly, her delicate frame draped gracefully in iridescent fabric that clung softly to her curves. Her luminous violet skin glowed faintly in the subdued lighting, and her shimmering blue hair cascaded gently around her shoulders. Caleb froze momentarily, captivated by her ethereal beauty. Unlike anything he'd ever encountered, her eyes fluttered open slowly, revealing mesmerizing silver irises tinged with hints of emerald, filled with confusion, and then widening in surprise. What are you?" she whispered, her voice soft, melodic, carrying a faint tremor of fear and intrigue. Caleb knelt down carefully, extending his hand reassuringly. "Captain Caleb Rourke, human," he introduced himself gently, noting the astonishment that flickered in her gaze as her eyes roamed his rugged, muscular form, lingering in surprise on his broad shoulders and towering stature. "You're safe now," she reached out hesitantly, her delicate fingers brushing against his sturdy hand. A faint jolt of warmth sparked at their touch, and Caleb felt his pulse quicken inexplicably. He saw her gaze deepen with curiosity, exploring his alien appearance with evident fascination, especially lingering appreciatively on his muscular build and broad chest. "I am Princess Lyra of Zephora," she managed softly, her initial wariness fading into cautious trust in something else, curiosity bordering on fascination. "My ship malfunctioned as I fled from danger. You are unlike anyone I've seen." Caleb offered a reassuring smile, understanding her guarded hesitation, but feeling a pull of protective instinct rising strongly within him. "You're a long way from home, Princess," he noted gently, his eyes locked with hers in quiet reassurance. "I'll do whatever I can to get us both off this planet safely." Lyra nodded slowly, visibly relaxing under his confident assurance. Her gaze, still locked on him, shimmered with newfound trust, and a gleam of curiosity that Caleb found deeply intriguing. She tilted her head slightly, a playful yet tentative smile teasing at her lips as she murmured softly, "I had heard humans were bold and impressive. But seeing you now, I realize those stories barely do justice." Caleb felt heat rise in his cheeks at the unexpected compliment, realizing suddenly that his routine cargo run had turned into something far more intriguing. He smiled warmly, shaking off the initial surprise, feeling excitement stir within him. He knew then, staring into her captivating eyes, that this unexpected encounter was about to redefine everything he thought he knew about himself and the universe. Captain Caleb Rourke guided Princess Lyra carefully out of the damaged alien vessel, his heart still beating hard, Whether from the crash or the electric presence of the mysterious princess, he wasn't sure. He scanned the lush jungle surroundings, alert to the sounds of the wildlife hidden in the dense foliage, with the vibrant plants towering around them and strange, colorful birds watching from high above. Caleb couldn't help but feel like he'd stepped into an entirely new world, one both beautiful and dangerous. Lyra held onto his arm lightly, her graceful fingers barely brushing his skin, sending unexpected pulses of warmth racing through his veins. Her touch was delicate, yet carried an underlying strength that intrigued him deeply. Every movement she made seemed graceful, fluid, as if gravity itself treated her gently. Caleb found himself captivated not just by her beauty, but by the calm resilience and quiet confidence emanating from her. Together, they navigated through the alien terrain, Caleb carefully scouting ahead, his survival instincts sharp from years of missions gone awry. He glanced occasionally at Lyra, impressed by her composure despite the obvious discomfort of traversing the rugged ground. Her luminous violet skin shimmered softly with the faint glow of the surrounding bioluminescent plants, creating an almost magical aura around her that Caleb struggled to ignore. They reached a rocky outcropping, sheltered by dense vines and huge, sprawling leaves offering cover from the encroaching dusk. Caleb immediately set to building a makeshift shelter. He could sense Lyra's eyes upon him as he worked, watching him with a mixture of curiosity and admiration. Each time he turned around, her gaze lingered a second longer than necessary, exploring his human physique with undisguised fascination. Caleb smiled inwardly, amused and flattered by the princess's evident intrigue. "You are strong, even among your kind," Lyra finally commented softly, breaking their comfortable silence as she watched him lift heavy branches effortlessly, arranging them into a protective structure. Her voice carried a musical quality, gentle yet undeniably alluring. "Comes with the job," Caleb replied lightly, unable to hide the playful smirk that spread across his lips. "Space can be unforgiving. Strength helps." "Indeed," Lyra murmured, stepping closer. Her eyes gleamed with an earnest curiosity, as if she wished to understand not just his strength, but something deeper about him. "But there is something else. You have a calmness beneath your strength. It's intriguing, almost comforting." Caleb paused, turning to face her fully, noticing the soft glow of the bioluminescent flora reflected in her eyes. She was close now, the warmth radiating from her skin gently caressing his senses. The scent of her was subtle yet intoxicating, reminding him of distant flowers mingled with something distinctly exotic. His pulse quickened, an unexpected heat spreading through his chest. "And you?" Caleb began, finding himself drawn into her. "Gays are far braver than most princesses I've met, though admittedly you're the only one." Lyra laughed softly, the sound melodic and genuine, a clear note that resonated warmly in Caleb's chest. She placed a hand lightly on his shoulder, looking up at him with unguarded openness. "Bravery comes easy when one feels safe," she whispered, softly, her fingers gently tracing the fabric of his uniform. Her eyes searched his face, curiosity mingling with something deeper, something unspoken yet unmistakably present. Caleb found himself leaning closer, unable to resist the magnetic pull between them. The jungle around them faded away, replaced only by the shared warmth of their breath mingling softly. He stopped abruptly, clearing his throat awkwardly, suddenly aware of how intensely he was drawn to her. We should get some rest," he managed, though his voice was huskier than he intended. Lyra smiled knowingly, stepping back just slightly, though her eyes held a mischievous sparkle. "As you wish, Captain. Perhaps humans also practice patience in matters of connection?" Caleb chuckled, surprised and delighted by her boldness. "We have our moments," he admitted, gesturing towards the makeshift shelter. "After you." Lyra gracefully moved inside, the curves of her lithe form illuminated gently by the glowing vines surrounding them. Caleb hesitated only a moment before following her, his mind racing, his heart alive with an exhilaration he hadn't felt in years. As they settled close to each other beneath the woven branches and glowing flora, Caleb knew their crash landing had started something neither of them expected, something he instinctively sensed would change both their lives forever. Caleb's wounds throbbed sharply, but the adrenaline from the fight dulled his pain enough to keep him moving. They carefully made their way from the battle-scarred chamber, leaving the shattered statues and debris behind, deeper into the hidden heart of the ancient ruins. Every shadow felt heavier now, every step a reminder of their vulnerability, yet their bond, forged in shared danger, grew only stronger with every glance they exchanged. Lyra walked closely beside Caleb, her slender hand grasping his arm gently to steady him. He tried to brush off the pain, but she could clearly sense his discomfort, casting concerned glances his way, her eyes filled with compassion and growing admiration. After several minutes of careful movement, they reached an open chamber dominated by a crystalline fountain at its center. The faint glow from the crystals cast soft, calming patterns on the walls, reflecting gently off Lyra's luminous skin and enhancing her ethereal beauty. Caleb took a deep breath, the peace of this place briefly soothing the storm of tension inside him. "Sit here," Lyra urged softly, guiding Caleb to a smooth stone bench near the fountain. Without waiting for his protest, she began tending his wound again with meticulous care, tearing fabric from her delicate garments to form bandages. Caleb watched her silently, amazed at the quiet confidence she exhibited, even after their harrowing ordeal. "Do you always take such risks for others?" she finally asked, her eyes fixed intently on her gentle yet precise work. Caleb chuckled slightly, wincing as the pain bit sharply again. "Only when they're worth the trouble," he answered, softly, gazing meaningfully into her silver emerald eyes. "Besides, I've discovered I'm rather partial to royal company." Lyra's lips curved into a gentle smile, her expression warm and openly affectionate. She shifted slightly closer, her touch lingering tenderly on his chest, sending tingles of warmth coursing through him. "And I have discovered humans are far more extraordinary than even our greatest tales portray," she whispered playfully. Caleb felt his pulse quicken, heat rising in his cheeks at her bold yet sincere words. Unable to resist her charm, he teased lightly, "Oh, and what do these tales say about us?" She tilted her head coyly, her fingertips lightly tracing the muscular contours of his shoulder and chest. "They speak of humans' bravery, yes, but they never mention your kindness, your honor. Or—" Her voice dropped to a teasing whisper, her eyes glittering mischievously. "Certain unique advantages." Caleb laughed softly, a rich, genuine sound that filled the quiet chamber, deepening their shared intimacy. "I suppose those stories overlook a few important details." Lyra moved even closer, the soft fragrance of her hair enveloping him gently, drawing him deeper under her spell. "Perhaps," she murmured teasingly, her gaze wandering appreciatively across his broad frame, her curiosity unmistakably piqued. "And yet, I wonder what other secrets humans hide." Her bold curiosity sent a fresh thrill through Caleb, leaving him both amused and deeply intrigued. "You might find our secrets quite fascinating," he admitted, his voice low, warm with barely restrained passion. Lyra's eyes gleamed with excitement and amusement, her fingertips now tracing gently along his jawline, her touch feather-light, yet electrifying. "Will you show me?" she breathed, sincerity and desire blending beautifully in her request. Caleb gazed deeply into her eyes, realizing with stunning clarity that he was utterly and undeniably enchanted by her strength, beauty, and the genuine warmth radiating from her spirit. "If you're sure," he whispered tenderly, his voice a promise wrapped in a question. Lyra answered with a slow, confident nod, her eyes full of trust and affection. "I've never been more certain," she whispered. Gently, Caleb cupped, her face drawing her nearer until their lips met softly. The world around them melted away, replaced entirely by the warmth and intensity of their connection. Their kiss deepened slowly, cautiously exploring each other's unique textures and tastes, finding harmony amid their differences. The chamber grew dimmer, the crystals pulsing softly as if echoing their shared heartbeat, deepening the intimacy of their embrace. They stayed locked in that tender yet passionate moment, learning one another's rhythms, drawn closer by their growing bond, strengthened by mutual respect and undeniable chemistry. When their kiss finally ended, they held each other tightly, their breaths mingling gently in the soft glow of the crystal-lit sanctuary. Caleb brushed Lyra's hair back tenderly, his eyes warm and earnest. "No matter what comes next, Princess, I swear I'll protect you." Lyra smiled, a radiant expression of happiness and confidence lighting her face. "I believe you," she said softly, sincerity shimmering in her gaze. "Together, Caleb, we'll face anything." And Caleb knew, holding her in that quiet, glowing moment, that their paths were irrevocably intertwined, bound not just by shared dangers, but by a passion and connection more powerful than either had ever imagined possible. The storm outside raged with fierce intensity, sheets of rain beating down against the ancient stone ruins that sheltered Caleb and Lyra. Inside their hidden refuge, the world was hushed except for the rhythmic patter of droplets against leaves and stone. The tempest was a fitting backdrop to the storm of emotions swirling between them. Caleb sat close to Lyra, their bodies pressed together for warmth, his strong arms wrapping protectively around her slender frame. He studied her face, illuminated by the soft glow of bioluminescent moss clinging to the walls, her delicate features highlighted by the shimmering violet skin and those mesmerizing silver emerald eyes. She looked both alien and achingly human in that moment, a perfect blend of mystery and familiarity. Lyra leaned into him, her voice a whisper almost lost beneath the storm. "I never thought I would find comfort in the arms of a human, Caleb. Your strength, it's more than physical. It's grounding." Caleb smiled softly, feeling a warmth blossom inside that had little to do with the shelter from the storm. "I've learned strength isn't just muscle or skill with a weapon. Sometimes it's about vulnerability, about trust, about being willing to be seen and accepted." Her eyes searched his, a spark of something unspoken shining brightly. "Your biology is different, I can feel it. Your endurance, your resilience, it's unlike anything in my world." Caleb chuckled, teasing gently. "Yeah, humans have a bit of a reputation for being tough to knock down. Guess that's why we've survived so long, huh?" Lyra's gaze drifted downward briefly, then back up with a playful smirk. "And what about other differences? I've heard rumors in the starports and about humans, shall we say, advantages in intimacy." He raised a brow, amused. "You mean our human equipment?" He gave a wink that made her laugh softly. "Yeah, we tend to do pretty well in that department." Her laughter was musical, a sound that made Caleb's heart skip. "It's impressive. In my culture, intimacy is very different. Physical connections tend to be more delicate, less intense. But with you, I feel an energy I've never known." He brushed a stray lock of shimmering blue hair behind her ear, his fingers lingering on her soft skin. "Maybe it's because humans don't just rely on biology. We put our heart and soul into it. That's the real strength. Connection." Their eyes locked, a tender electricity filling the space between them. Slowly, carefully, Caleb leaned in, their lips meeting, in a kiss that was at once gentle and charged with yearning. Each touch, each sigh, was an exploration, a dance of two very different species discovering a shared language of desire. Lyra's hands roamed hesitantly at first, marveling at Caleb's broad chest, the rugged planes of his body, so different from her slender form. She gasped softly as he traced the curve of her waist, his touch firm yet reverent. The differences in their physiology were stark, yet somehow perfectly complementary. As they moved together beneath the shelter of the ancient stones, the world outside faded away, leaving only the primal connection growing between them. Caleb's strength was undeniable, his endurance, his passion. Yet it was his tenderness that truly captivated Lyra. She felt cherished, seen, and desired in a way that transcended mere biology. Between kisses, she whispered with a shy smile, "You humans really do have an unfair advantage." Caleb laughed, his voice low and warm. "Yeah, but it's not just the size of the tools. It's how you use them. And trust me, I'm eager to show you." The night deepened, their bodies entwined in a timeless embrace, exploring every curve and contour with hungry curiosity and profound tenderness. Lyra marveled at Caleb's stamina, his ability to hold her, to endure, and to bring pleasure in ways no Zephyrin had ever imagined. For his part, Caleb found himself enchanted by her alien softness and strength, a perfect balance of otherworldly grace and fiery spirit. When dawn finally broke, painting the sky with pink and gold hues, they lay together in a comfortable tangle, breaths slow and content. Caleb's arm curled possessively around Lyra's waist, her head resting against his chest where his steady heartbeat was a soothing rhythm. Neither spoke immediately. Words seemed unnecessary. In that quiet morning light they simply existed, two souls from different worlds bound by something fierce and unbreakable. Caleb smiled softly, brushing his fingers through her shimmering hair. "Whatever happens next, Princess, I'm yours." Lyra's eyes sparkled with love and certainty. "And I'm yours, Caleb, for all the stars to witness." With Lyra at his side and the future growing within her, he knew they were ready for anything. As the ship lifted off, the vibrant planet shrinking below them, Caleb whispered into the quiet cabin, "Wherever we go, whatever we face it together. And that makes us unstoppable." Lyra leaned into him, her smile full of hope and promise. "Anywhere, everywhere, as long as we're together." Their journey was just beginning, an epic adventure of love, strength, and the beautiful merging of two worlds. And as the stars stretched out before them, Caleb and Lyra knew without doubt that they had found something far greater than survival. They had found home.